Imagine the talent that my mother had born to her. Equals a duck, what is it, Trey?
Yo, man, that's the formula.
No, you're a big deep hopper.
That makes sense. I was gonna say that looks like early 2000s, like or like 2010 vibes, yeah.
Been trying to up my
But it's got a good color.
like shirt game, like not just t-shirts, but collared
Yeah.
shirts that I can wear that are a little more formal, but I can still kind of dress down. So Depop's been good for that
Yeah.
because, bro, there's so much stuff on there that people are getting rid of for like $10 that I'm like, the shipping was even free the last couple of weeks. I'm like, I'll give it a try for $10, and I've had pretty good luck with the few I've gotten.
Wait, shipping was free this whole last week?
Yeah.
Damn, I gotta go on there then. Maybe that's why Steph just ordered stuff too.
I kind of feel like it
But
might still be going
yeah,
on.
it's a steal though, for sure. Like either way, like you said though, people are getting rid of stuff for $10 and you go to even if you go to a thrift store or like Goodwill, you're not even getting it for that. You're having to pay more at those locations even, so
Yeah, the thrift game is becoming bougie. Everyone's upping their prices because
yeah. Um, I I've been looking at my closet recently and having to do the opposite of you. I have like no t-shirts. I went through and like organized my shirts in a way that's t-shirts and then in colors and then like collared shirts in colors. I think I have maybe 10 non-collared shirts or like just regular t-shirts.
1,000. I need to do a closet reset because my drawers are packed full, and I end up wearing the same 5 t-shirts. But now that I've been leaving the house a little bit more,
Yeah.
I seriously never work from home. I've been trying to dress a little bit better. Not that it's anything crazy, but
Mhm.
I can only wear, t-shirts and shorts and t-shirts and pants so many days in a row. I like to mix it up a little bit. I feel like I'm getting to a good place with it too. We've talked about wardrobe a little bit on here, and uh, I don't know. I feel like shit I've just kind of been neglecting getting. I'm starting to just pull the trigger on. So I think I have more of a collective wardrobe than I used to.
Yeah. Well, that's good. What, you said a lot of like collared shirts right now you've been focusing on?
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of a sidestep, but I've been really grinding on my golf wardrobe. I've been on the hunt to find non-golf feeling attire to wear on the golf course, like baggier pants, like baggier pleated pants, and like collared shirts that aren't just the typical Nike polo. I got a couple hats that are sort of vintage inspired, but I think there's only maybe 5 to 10, and 10 is even 10 could even be a lot, but there's not a lot of brands that do cool golf apparel still. So I've been sifting through those brands and ordering a couple pair of pants and a couple of shirts and stuff from each to try to piece it together so I can really double down on that look good, feel good on the course feeling. So I'll report back in a couple months and see if it actually makes a difference.
Heard you. What are some of those brands that you have been liking?
One is called Motion Golf Co., I believe. And I got these barrel pants from them that I think is like the best golf pant I've found. I haven't got a ton of wear out of them yet because it's been hot as hell here. But they're these like brown, baggy barrel pants that have their logo near the cuff. And then they have these two big side pockets and back pockets. And the material is kind of a hybrid between a dress pant and like a I don't want to say nylon, but on or kind of like the Lululemon like stretchy material. So they're comfortable but still
Yeah.
a little formal. And then Students Golf is another brand that has just sick shit that you could wear on or off the course. Trying to think what else. I mean, Malbin is a classic. I actually ended up returning a couple of the things I got from them because I think the sizing of the pants was just weird and they were a little too slim for my liking. But I don't know. It kind of makes me want to start my own golf clothing brand, to be honest. But we'll see.
Yeah. Got you. What do you have any inspirations of former times of golfers or just golfers in general that you're trying to steal some of their swag?
Um, I don't know if I can point to any pro golfers. Um, that previously I think it's less of a vintage vibe and more of like a streetwear, like something that's still I think coming into golf clothes. Jason Day, who's like a Malbin, and I think I want to say Lululemon. There's these Lululemon pants that are like a baggy pleated fit that people are quoting as like the streetwear golf pant on the tour right now. And so Jason Day, he again sponsored by Malbin, wears a lot of baggy shit, so he stands out. But I'm trying to think of like Sean Malto is a professional skateboarder that's also super big into golf, and I'm trying to copy his swag essentially. J.R. Smith, big golfer. His swag is nice on the course. Schoolboy Q,
Yeah.
sick at golf, swagged out on the course.
Yeah.
So no one that's really
Yeah.
pro, but people that just kind of are saucy and, kind of making waves in the game still.
Yeah. Got you. I saw that J.R. Smith actually just graduated too. And did he play? I think he played all 4 years then at that college.
Yeah, where was he playing at again? Were you just looking it up?
Yeah, it's here.
North Carolina A&T.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, North Carolina A&T State University. I think he played all 4 years, and yeah, he finished with a 4.0 GPA.
Pursuing a degree in liberal studies, making the dean's list and earning multiple academic honors. That's such a fun story, dude.
Yeah. He I mean, I read an article on him, like, when he did graduate, and it was just saying, like, what his role was on the team, and, um, it was just saying, like, that, you know, obviously, since he has so much experience with winning, he was just, like, team captain of everything and just explaining to them, like, what it actually takes to be a pro and, like, all these different things, even if it's different, but
I feel like there's not a ton of stories like that of people who go back and pursue, especially something like golf after having a career like that in another professional sport. And I don't know. I love how the sport of golf has transcended the historical aspect of the tour and people are
yeah.
starting to get their own swag on the course. I think it's starting to become more diverse. I think
Mhm.
people like the barrier to entry, maybe it's just because we're getting older and more of our friends golf and because we got nothing better to do. Uh, but I don't know. I mean, J.R. Smith and School Like You, I saw this at a podcast together talking about like smoking weed on the course and like there's like an informality that exists now that I think makes that barrier to entry easier, but
Yeah.
people still have respect for the game, and follow the typical courtesies and things like that. And that's the
Yeah.
type of golf I like to play. Like I feel like I can hang with the guys who are dialed in and are very serious and don't like music on the course and are a little more intense about it. And I can also hang with the guys who just want to drink on the course and dink around and maybe care less. I find myself somewhere in the middle. Like I want to be challenged. I want to play with people that are good, but I don't know. Like I've probably worn a polo onto a course once this whole season, but
Yeah,
still kind of like
yeah,
looked the part. And so I don't know. I like that balance, and I like that it's starting to become a little more widespread and accessible for everybody. So
yeah, I I will say, like, on that accessibility piece, I think one thing that's changed too is now you see a lot of guys from all sports talking about how they golf in their free time, or, like, before a game, they go golfing, and I think that's, like, because the stigma used to be like, "Oh, this shit's lame. It's for, hoity-toity people," or whatever. I think, you see your favorite player in any sport now saying, "Yeah, golfing's sick." Obviously, you're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, golfing's cool." Um, but I was actually hitting balls with my dad this other day, and as a kid, I would go to the course and, like, wear basketball shorts or whatever too, but it was cool to see how many kids were there in the middle of the day practicing. I saw kids walking out by themselves to play a round of 18 holes, you know, and, like, n n just looked like normal kids too, not like they were only golfers that, like, they probably play on their high school team, but it was it wasn't like that cookie cutter image of what you would think one of the golf kids would be. So,
did you play golf like that when you were young, or what's like your earliest memories of being on the golf course?
yeah, well, me and my dad and Dylan, that's my brother, would play, you know, fairly often in the summer. Like, I've always gone golfing because my uncle is a huge golfer and my grandpa was a huge golfer too. So that was like one way that we always hung out with them. So I've played my whole life. I just never have been like super serious about it. In high school, I would play with my friends. They finally like senior year, were like, oh yeah, let's go golfing. And then in college too, they would go. But that was always a good excuse for us to go get high on the golf course and hang out and stuff too, and not have adult supervision that would catch us getting high. So
That's hilarious.
yeah, so that's kind of I think when yeah, like senior year when my friends started to golf more, and then once we got to college, we had some buddies that then played on their high school teams, so then it just made it a lot more like, oh, everyone's going. So how about you?
Yeah, I feel like pretty similar. Where my parents' house is, we grew up on the corner to a dead end that led to a golf course, and it just was a small, public 9-hole course. I wanna say it was 9 holes, but I definitely didn't utilize it as much as I should have, but same with you. Pretty big golf family. My dad always has played a lot of golf. My grandpa was a great golfer. My cousins and stuff played a lot of golf. I'd say I'm probably, or at least I was, lowest on the totem pole of amount played and golf quality just because I'd go out there and chop it around and I'd have fun. And like you said, just go out there to get high and stuff and dink around on the course without actually caring about the game. But it was during COVID, which this wasn't unique to me. I think a lot of people were starting to play more golf during that time because there wasn't a lot else to do. But a different course, the course that we lived down the street from, they ended up selling that plot of land and it became houses. And I remember being so bummed about that because I was like, how did I not utilize this course at the end of my parents' block for my whole upbringing? Granted, I
Yeah.
must have just not cared about it that much, so that's why that happened. But in hindsight, I'm like, I could have played golf for extremely cheap every day and walked down the street to get there. But during COVID, I started going to the range every single day and I would hit a bucket of balls. And then I would sometimes go and just play nine by myself. And I would either wear headphones or just have a speaker in the cart. And I progressed so heavily during that time. it was the
Mhm.
first time I got an understanding of if I practice more, I'm gonna get better at the sport, which doesn't seem like rocket science, but every time in my life when I've practiced the most, when I've went to the range the most, I have improved the most. So it's kind of been a weird juggling act the last few years trying to keep my game consistent and continuing to improve because I am in a league now that's once a week and we play on a par 3 course that's just 9 holes and I'm playing more consistently the last 3 4 years than I maybe had in the past, but I'm never swinging outside of league often. So
Yeah.
there's this tug and pull of frustration and obsession. And
Mhm.
I feel like that's why the sport is so addicting because go out there and you hit some good shots and that's just like such a good feeling. But then you go out there and hit shitty shots and you never want to play again. So I don't know. Not to get on a
Yeah.
tangent about golf, but I'm just very much in golf mode right now. So this is a timely convo.
It is golf definitely there is a direct correlation with, like, practice to your outcome on the course. I think, like, even more so than any other sport that you could play just because it is such a repetitive motion that you're doing. Obviously, like, there's the mental part of it too, but hopefully you're not having, like, huge mental battles when you're just going out there to hang out with your friends, but, no, I hear you. I've definitely seen that in myself too. My uncle always gets really pissed at me though because he's like, "If you just practiced a little bit, you would be really good." And I'm like, it's just not where I'm at right now." When my dad and I were going, he's like, "How come you can hit it straight and I go and I practice all the time?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dad."
Yeah, there's something to that.
But being on the sports topic, there's a lot going on in the world right now. There's NHL, there's NBA Finals, and then there's FIFA coming up. First off, are you tapping in what ones are you tapping into? And, like, let's just start there. What are you tapping into so far?
I just was looking up to see what the series is at for um the NHL series tied 2-2. I watched like the first game of the
Yep.
NHL series and I kind of have fallen off it since. Um NBA, I've watched most of the games. I didn't finish the second half of the game that San Antonio won and I will maybe tap into FIFA, I guess. I don't typically watch a lot of soccer, but I know there's a lot of top talk around it. So can you put me on or how tapped in are you to it?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I've been first off for NBA, I've been watching at least the last two series that have been played, or the conference finals, and then now the finals. I've been watching every game that I
Mhm.
can. Um, the last game was crazy in Madison Square Garden, like, just with who was who's who, everyone was there. Like, tickets 9K for the top seat, like, that's insane. Um, but I think it's, like, super electrifying for what's happening right now because the Knicks haven't been here in what, I don't know how long, and they haven't won a championship in, like, 80 years or something like that, so it's pretty crazy right now. I do want them to go to game 7 right now. It's tied, or it's,
Two to
2-1
one.
Knicks,
Yep.
but yeah,
I do have a
Knicks look pretty damn
I do
good.
have a broader topic about the uh NBA series, but give me your 2 cents on the hockey and then the soccer first, and then let's circle back to basketball.
Yeah. Okay. Hockey, I can't say I've really watched the Stanley Cup before, but holy shit, this is probably the most exciting series final series that I've ever watched for, like, any hockey. Um, they score in bunches. Like, the other night,
Yeah.
Carolina was down in game 2, and I think they were down 4-1, and they came back and won, like, 6 or 5-4 or something like that. Every single game, it's like one scores 4 goals, the next one scores 4 goals, like, and they usually happen within, like, 5 minutes of each other. Once you score once, you're scoring 2 more times, and those games have been crazy. 2 of them have gone to OT, double OT even. I would highly recommend watching. Like I said, this year has been the first year that I really tapped into the NHL because of living in Chicago and going to the Blackhawks games, but it's gotta be one of the most exciting sports to watch for sure.
What's weird about
And then
hockey,
FIFA.
hold on, let me just give my 2 cents on that because I typically don't watch a lot of Stanley Cup either. But when I was at the bachelor party a few weeks ago, that was in the Ozarks. Everyone was big Wild fans, and I'm always down to watch it. We actually hosted one of the who did we play in the last series? Avalanche, the series that the Wild lost in.
Sure, I
Sorry,
don't know.
I say we. I suppose you're not a we for the Wild. Anyway, I just was understanding how much there was really levels to that shit. Like, I feel like hockey games can be hit or
Yeah,
miss to me because in theory it's fast paced, but it's like fairly rarely am I seeing breakaways or like true opportunities for offensive plays because it's 80% passing the puck back and forth and like hucking it to the other side of the ice to get it out of your
yeah,
zone. And there's a little bit of that to get used to, but once you get later in the series and the games are as good and as fast paced and as high quality as they are, like I remember watching our asses get dusted in the I think second game of the Wild, and I swear it's got to be Avalanche. If I am saying the team wrong, it's really gonna make me look bad. But I was feeling the same thing when we were watching the Knights and Hurricanes game a couple days ago because, bro, they're just ripping around the ice, and there's so much offense, and everyone on the ice is just insane, and it's way more entertaining to watch than early series games where teams are just blowing teams out. So, hear
yeah.
you and would like to tap in
Well,
more.
I knew, like, there was a lot of deflections and, like, that's how people score, but I didn't realize, like, how many times the puck gets deflected on every shot. Like, it can get deflected 3 times, and then it goes in. Like, the amount of times the puck got blocked, then it went off the, defender's skate and went into the goal is crazy. Like, it's so hard to know. It's so hard to even, like, follow the puck. You have to be locked in to even know what's going on, so
And the Stanley Cup is 7 games just like the NBA, right? For their series?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think their early games or their early series, like, in the beginning of the playoffs are, like, only 5 games, though.
Okay. Oh yeah, game 7 if necessary, but yeah, they play tomorrow. I'm gonna have to tap in.
Yeah. Knicks Spurs play tonight, right?
Yep, because they were off last night.
So it'll be game 4 at New York. Oh, yeah, and then FIFA. Bro, FIFA, you gotta tap in. This is, like, one topic that I wanted us to talk about a lot because, like, in the US, let's be honest, nobody really fucks with soccer like that, or football as they call it.
Yeah.
Um, like, I brought it up to my dad, and, like, Steph's family obviously loves soccer. They're all in on soccer. Her brother, her cousins all play. Her dad
Why
literally has it on
obviously?
the TV. 'Cause they're Mexican, bro. It's not like, he her dad literally has a random game on. It could be even a rerun at all moments if the TV's on. So like they're hyped about it. Her dad goes, "All right, we just got this new cable set up so that you can watch every single game and everyone in our family can check it out. We get up to like 45 different logins. You can do it on your phone, whatever." He's like, "We'll have you guys
Sick.
set up for it." I'm like, "Bet."
Right.
And then I bring it up to my dad, and my dad's like, "I'm not gonna watch that shit. That's stupid." And he's like, "I don't like soccer." I'm like, "Okay, dad." But I was talking to Steph's brother about it, and it even made me think about, like, when they did, I think it was the Olympics or it was FIFA for, like, the women's a number of years ago. I think it was, like, early 2000s, like 2001 or, like, 1997, something like that. But you see like, especially at that time, how many women decided to play soccer after seeing, like, the highest level of it in their country, and I think about, especially for men, like, our best athletes go and they play every other sport, I would say, over soccer. I mean,
Mm.
obviously, there's some that will go and play soccer, it'll be their sport, but, like, the MLS is decent size, but, like, it's a very niche group who's going to those games, like, it does not get the attention that any of these other sports do, so now having the World Cup in the United States will be like, I think, game changing for us long term because I think so many kids will be like, "Oh shit, like Messi's here, Neymar's here, like all these people are here." And people are going to be watching because it's like, oh, you got to talk about it. It was already a big topic of conversation, but I think now people will be tapping in just because it's here more so than like, oh, I heard that the game happened and I saw the highlights on ESPN.
Oh, it's in LA,
Yeah.
is it?
I think there's a game. Yeah, there's games in LA, there's games in New York, there's games in Miami. It's all over the US.
Bro, I'm so uncultured. I just have been like kind of looking at some shit while you've been talking, and cause did the MLS just wrap up? Did they just have their tournament? Or am I tripping?
I don't even know. That's how they might have. Actually, no, I think there's runs all summer.
Cause what did Arsenal just win? I was just listening to some podcast and
Arsenal just
Bobby
won.
Lee was like stoked about Arsenal winning, and I was about to bring that up when you're like, "Oh, are you tapped into FIFA?" And I like it just mushed them together, but I forgot that it's the World Cup and it's happening in the U.S.
Yeah. So Arsenal just won the Premier League,
Premier League. Okay,
which is the top league basically for like it's basically the NBA of soccer. But what they do, I think their tournament is sick though, because like you have all these different major leagues throughout Europe, and then all those top leagues, whoever win, then go into a tournament, and then they play against each other too.
that's the Premier. That's what the Premier League is. Or you're just saying that
That
that's a tournament that's made up from. Because what's the MLS then? That's like
trying to
just
think.
for shittier teams. Like what is the Minnesota Loon? What are
MLS,
they in?
yeah, that's the um that's the MLS. So that's only in the United States. The
Okay.
Premier League is the top league in Europe. And then what's the tournament that they do?
Damn. I'm so not tapped in. Also, is there like a huge delay in my audio, I feel like?
You're kind of delaying, yeah.
I can tell by the delay in your responses. I feel like everything I have set up is normal, so I don't know what to change, but
It
hopefully
might
it'll
just
come.
be it might be me.
All right.
I can switch my Wi-Fi. I think I'm on the wrong one. Okay. So The Union of European Football Association governs the primary soccer tournaments in Europe, which are divided into major competitions for national teams, blah, blah, blah. Mm. Oh, the Champions League. That's what it is. Okay, yeah.
Mm,
So Premier League, Champions League is then when all the teams that won um their league then play against each other to determine who's the best league. And then so like I think if you win some of the lower divisions, you can like get bumped up into a higher league then after that.
okay. My only other real association to that split is from playing the FIFA video game. Like I just would know to go to the Champions League to pick all the sick teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna tap in for sure. I'm kind of looking at the brackets. They call it like Group A, B, C, and whatever for the different games, but I forgot that it's literally here. So I've got no reason to not tap in. And it starts tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. This week sometime. Let's see. First game is Mexico versus South Africa.
Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and then South
Yeah.
Korea and
So that
Czechia.
Yeah. So this game, they're projecting 4 billion people to be watching the first game.
Jesus. Also, I just saw your text that said my
Yeah.
mic keeps making noise. Is that still happening?
If you're moving it around a lot, yeah.
Oh, all right. I'll chill. I kind of got more of a informal setup here, if you can tell, than usual, because I don't really have a good reason for it, but I'm holding my mic.
Oh, got you. You
That's
you
the
didn't wanna just put it
downfall.
on the table?
Well, if I do that, then you can't hear me good, right? If it's like all the way over here.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's the downfall of the difference between I tested it too and I didn't think it sounded that bad, but the downfall between having this, which is a dynamic mic versus I don't remember what your type of mic is called, but it catches more of the room as a whole. So I could set your mic down on the table and get the same audio quality. This one I have to like speak into. So if I like,
Oh,
I'm just sitting on my couch right now. So it's if I set it on the table in front of me, it'd be too far away. This one's supposed to be 3 to 5 inches from my mouth. It says, according to my
got
my
you.
my deep research.
Heard you. Makes sense. Okay, what were you talking about with basketball now? Put it on me.
Yeah. So I don't know how much you're going on social media right now, and if this has made it to fully mainstream media, but I've seen a lot of clips of city destruction and like very, very poor treatment of Spurs fans post Nick wins. And I wanted to hear your 2 cents about this. This is a conversation as old as time on like, fan bases poorly treating their opponents and like fights in the streets and breaking down street signs and all this shit. I'm seeing a lot of comments of people saying, like, yo, we haven't been here in a while. Like, let's show up better. Like, this isn't representing us well. But I've seen like, I told Caroline yesterday, I saw this crazy video of this Spurs fan wearing a Spurs jersey, trying to get out of the stadium, assuming to his car. And he's just getting jumped and they're like ripping his jersey off him and he's like running and people like kick him down. They start like beating his ass again. And I'm like, that's all I've been thinking about in association to that fan base, even though I know plenty of people who aren't acting that way. And like you said, lots of celebrities that come out to those games and stuff. But what's your perspective on a team's fan base treating opposing fans like that? Do you think it would be the same if it was in Chicago or Minneapolis? Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. That Well, one, I haven't been on social media enough to know a lot about that. I have seen like them going crazy in the streets though, like just with partying and stuff. But you know, it's like the sidewalk talk people. That's really who I've seen where I mean, they make shit get jumping on a random Tuesday just saying, "We outside." You
Yeah.
know? Um I can't say I'm like super surprised that that's happening for the Knicks. Um I just feel like people don't know how to act, and a lot of
Yeah.
people that don't know how to act go to New York too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think, like, they've also basically haven't been there in so long that it's just, like, they don't know how to act right now, and then you have a fan base like the Spurs who is just, like, not, you know, they're known for being calm and, like, all this stuff, winning, obviously, but
Yeah.
you know, being like the standard of what every NBA team wants to be in like a fan base too. Um, so I don't know. I think it's terrible that people are getting treated like that because I think of even with the Bears games, like I don't now that I know how to fight, maybe I am okay with going to a Packers Bear game at Soldier Field, but like I've heard horror stories. Even my cousin last year going to a game, she didn't even know the Packers like won. She's walking out getting threatened her life and stuff, and, like, her fiancé was with her, and people are like, "You need to go home and kick her ass," like, all this stuff, like, obviously, she wasn't getting physically beaten, but it's just terrible, like, I don't I get, like, talking shit, you know? People if you go to a Packers game, like, and you're wearing a Bears jersey or something like that, people are gonna talk shit to you, and maybe there'll be some asshole that, like, dumps a beer on you. But for the most part, like, I think a lot of fan bases police themselves and, like, especially where what the fans that you know, usually the teams I root for, if someone's being an asshole, then someone from the same fan base is gonna call that person out and be like, "Bro, you need to chill the fuck out."
Yeah.
But getting beat in the street is crazy. That reminds me of, like, the goons that they have in, like, it for soccer, going back to them, like, there's gangs that, like, will go fight
Yeah.
for their team, but that's kind of a revenge to you know, so I don't know, I think there shouldn't be a place for that, though. What
Yeah,
about
and I
you?
also have never been that diehard of a sports team fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a fan, of Minnesota sports teams always, but there's ebbs and flows in how hard you go depending on the team that season.
You
But
can't in Minnesota, you can't really be a fan like that, I get it. That's all
yeah,
you
no,
gotta say, "We get
there's
it."
some truth to that. There's some truth to that. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I'm trying to level with people who are that insane, but like you said, a lot of times there's just people there wilding that aren't representing the fan base well. They're just there because there's commotion, and I don't know what the solution is necessarily. I don't know that it totally uh determines my opinion about the team or the fan base because there's going to be people that ruin it for others always whenever there's big wins or big commotion in the streets for anything like that. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting the overwhelming amount of bad stuff I've seen about the fans, and how that impacts perspective on the wins and rooting for the team to win their first championship in all these years, like you said.
Yeah. I will say though too, New York is known for like shutting down the streets. Like the best marketing campaigns you can get in New York is when there's like thousands of people in the street and then they just start creating a commotion and like usually doing probably like breaking down street signs and stuff. So like
Yeah.
now you have the Knicks doing it.
Yeah. I hear
Did
you.
you see oh, speaking of that, did you see at the game with Trump being at the Knicks game?
Him getting booed by everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I was watching that live, and then I don't know if it's, like, his niece or something, I think her name's, like, Kai Trump or Kaya, and they, like, pan to her, and she just has, like a smirk, like, kind of like an embarrassed smirk on her face, like, damn. Panning to the president and overwhelming booing at a game at Madison Square Garden, I feel like is a pretty big tell.
Bro, it's at every single sporting event that he's been, like, he gets on the jumbotron and everybody just goes crazy. Um, I heard too they had to shut down, like, the watch parties that were outside of Madison Square Garden because he needed extra security or whatever, and people were upset about that too.
Yeah, I kinda wondered how the bringing him in and out at a game like that works when there's, yeah, so much stuff surrounding the stadium, especially, like, you
Yeah.
can't just sneak your way in.
I'm sure though, like, for them, they probably have secret entrances and stuff like that for that stadium. Because I think even, like, most stadiums, they have stuff like that for different accommodations for people, but especially Madison Square Garden, so
Are you gonna tap into UFC White House this weekend?
well, that's this weekend?
Yep, Sunday.
Uh, I mean, should
Do
I?
you want me to read you the card?
Yeah, yeah, read the card.
So it's only 7 fights total. There's no prelims.
Mhm.
The main fight is a lightweight title bout between Ilya Taporia and Justin Gaethje. The
Okay,
interim title bout before that is Alex Pereira and Cyril Gahn. The fight before that is a bantamweight bout between Sean O'Malley and Ayman Zahibi. The fight before that
okay,
is Josh Hokett versus Derek Lewis. Fight before that is Mauricio Rufy versus Michael Chandler. Middleweight, Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins, and then Diego Lopez and Steve Garcia. So
damn.
there's some fights. There's some fights on there for sure.
I take it you'll be tapping in?
I mean, yeah. Somewhat hesitantly. It's like
Yeah,
such a weird spectacle of a thing to even exist. So I don't know how you separate the uh political preference from fandom of the sport. In this case, I think it's insane that it's even existing, but I don't know. Maybe I can still support the sport without
yeah.
supporting the existence.
Like, low-key, I might have to tap in because that is a crazy card, but also too, like, I don't know, I think it's obviously in some people's eyes, like, okay, why are they doing it there? But also too, it is a historic event. Like,
Yeah.
you as much it's the same, like, I don't understand when, say, you win the national championship, or you win, like, the NBA finals,
You go to the
like,
White
some
House.
people defer to go. Yeah, some people defer to go or whatever. Bro, I don't care. I would still go and meet the president, even if I don't like the things he's doing or whatever. I still think it's like a historic thing that, you know, you can still respect in some capacity. So,
I think that's a fair perspective and also just a once in a lifetime chance to go to the White House, regardless of the guy that's in there. Maybe I'm not, giving him a big hug when I see him, but just to be able to go to the White House after you win a championship like that is like a pretty big box to check.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, no, I hear you.
yeah.
I'll definitely probably tap in. I think it's odd that it's on a Sunday. I wonder if it's midday or something, but I'm gonna be in Oshkosh, Wisconsin this weekend for a wedding. So I'm sure the boys will want to
Going to
tap in.
Oshkosh?
Yeah, do you know where that
Whose
is?
wedding? Yeah, of course. That's like 5 minutes from my parents' house.
Damn, let's link.
Oh, Should have let me know. I would have been there, man. Go, they have all the outlet malls there too. So, um, they have like Apollo Outlet Mall, Nike, all different stuff.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it otherwise or other than the fact that it's about 5 hours away, but my buddy Braden, who I just went to that bachelor party for, it's his wedding, and Caroline can't go, so I'm gonna be riding solo. But
Damn. Is she from Oshkosh, or is it like that where they live, or what? Why is it in Oshkosh?
neither one of them are from Oshkosh. I think maybe there's just a venue there that they both wanted to go to or something. Is there a prominent venue there that you're familiar with?
No idea. I can't say I've spent much time in Oshkosh. There's a lake or like the river right there or a lake. And then it's where my parents bought their boat. And then they have a college there too. Their volleyball team is dope. And their
Oh,
basketball is
really?
really good too. Yeah, they're like D3. But they
I
win
also
they I think for basketball every year. Football is good. All their sports are good.
Do you guys have plans for the 4th?
Yes.
4th of
We
July?
are
You do?
going to South Haven. Yeah. What are you doing?
Where's South Haven?
It's like so you know how like Illinois and Wisconsin is like right here, and then Michigan's right here,
Yeah.
like on Lake Michigan.
Yep.
It's like right here. So
So
it's
it's
like you
still
dip right
in
into Indiana.
oh, it's in Michigan.
Yeah, it's in Lower Michigan. It's like a touristy town.
Is it just you and Steph?
Nah, we're going with three other couples that are
Nice.
friends from down here. We're doing like Thursday to Sunday or something like that.
Sick. Yeah, I was gonna say because
How about
we're
you?
going to Wisconsin too. I don't remember what the city is. I was gonna try to look up where this Airbnb is at, but we're gonna be there from the 3rd to the 6th with 2 other couples. I was
Okay.
gonna say, like, we could
Yeah.
potentially link up, but it sounds like we're gonna be a ways away probably, so depending on where we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it probably, well, typically don't you guys do like Northwest Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think that this is more, uh I don't remember where this is, bro, because I just booked it, and I think it's only, like, 3 or 4 hours from our place, and I haven't even looked back since I booked it, but we can talk about this off air. This is probably boring as shit for anyone who for the 8 people that listen to this.
Yeah. Also, we talked about this a little bit. I switched up my morning routine for what I'm
Mm,
drinking. I'm no longer prioritizing coffee, but I'm drinking your drink of excellence every morning. I can't
and
lie. I feel good when I have it.
and what does it all include again?
Besides greens, creatine, collagen, electrolytes.
Nice.
That's it. That's all you have, right?
Yeah, I'll put coconut water in there, but that's not as necessary.
Yeah. Well, I've just been doing it with regular water. But I will say I feel like I have more energy. I don't know if it's like a placebo effect at this time, but I've also been um mixing that with running more too.
Nice.
I don't know, I just feel like my head's more clear than usual. So I don't know. I one shout out for putting me on it, but what's how did you even get to like come up with that drink and like why do you do it?
I think it's just the baseline for everything that you need throughout the day, but also just to kind of start your day. Like we obviously wake up dehydrated, so I've seen people just do like pink Himalayan salt and lemon and water to get their electrolytes going in the morning. And then greens is just kind of the basis of the fruits and vegetables you need throughout the day. So at certain times, I've just used that to replace my caffeine source because you're just naturally getting everything that you need to get going. And then collagen is just good for your hair and your skin and your teeth. So that's something that's good
Mhm.
to have every day. And I just would mix it all at once. And I was thinking about this the other day because I'm like, and I already knew I've done this research in the past, but I'm like, is mixing all these different things together that serve different purposes conflicting with each other? Which they don't. But I have never been like I don't need good flavor necessarily for the
Yeah.
drinks that I mix, which Caroline and sometimes other people that I make the drink for do need. But
Yeah.
I'm just like a path of least resistance kind of guy. So I'm like, if I could just dump everything into one drink and just gun it in the morning, then I have, my hydration kicks off. Like the fruits and vegetables I need throughout the day are in my system. I'm like supporting my skin and hair and teeth health. I just
Uh,
started taking a fish oil too because I realized that most of the omega supplement that you should need on a day to day basis isn't in the greens powder I usually buy. So
mhm.
that's something that's new into the mix. But yeah, I don't know. It's just
So
kind
you
of been the
put the fish
baseline.
oil right in yourself?
No, I just take it as a capsule or a pill with that drink usually. But one thing I will say is don't buy, and this is a brand I usually shout out. I buy my pea protein through them. There's some other supplements I get, but it's called Naked and they're very straight to the point. There's usually no like bullshit ingredients in the stuff that they make, but their greens powder is terrible. It smells terrible. It tastes terrible. Regardless of what I mix it with, it smells like
Yeah.
terrible. It smells like a porta potty. And the first time I made it, I thought it was because other times just like the combination of stuff won't make the best smell, but the taste is usually chill. But their greens powder is like rancid. I don't know what they're putting in there, but it's not it.
Yeah. I've been using, like, the AG1 stuff just because we had some,
Yeah,
um,
that's
but
the
I think
best
that's
in
the
my
one.
opinion.
Yeah, I think you gave me like, when you originally texted me it, you sent me the one that you have, and, like, I've tried it, when I was in Minneapolis with you, and I didn't think it was terrible. I do think, like, even with the AG1, it has almost like a cotton candy flavor to it, which I think is
Mm,
almost worse than, like, having it taste like dirt or something like that because it's
mm.
like, uh, like, when you go to the dentist and they give you, like, it's either like a teeth. I think it's when they do what's the
The
stuff that they put
X-rays?
on your teeth? The fluoride?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like the fluoride. It's like almost like a cotton candy fluoride taste. Oh, it kinda
Mm.
gives me the heebie-jeebies when I drink it though, and I'm like, "Ugh," but,
Yeah, no,
it
I actually
it
know
does what
exactly
it's
what you
supposed to
mean.
do,
That's
so
well said or well explained, I should say.
yeah,
I
yeah.
also don't have it first thing in the morning. Are you having like a meal before or do you just start your day with all that?
Well, I eat my breakfast and have it while I'm eating breakfast, or, like, right after I eat breakfast.
Yeah, that's good. I usually like to have some sort of base because, I mean, we're talking about the bathroom usage that can come with that drink sometimes because it is all, I mean, even just like chugging water and rehydrating in the morning can wash through you pretty quickly. So I usually like to have some sort of base set so that it's got something to sit on top of instead of just downing it first thing in the morning. I'm the same way with like coffee, even. Caroline always will want to do coffee first thing in the morning. Let's go get coffee. I'm like, I need to have a 5 course meal before because I'll, one, be in the bathroom, and two, I'll get mad jittery from the caffeine. So,
Yeah, yeah. I get that. Most people are like that. I'm like Caroline, though. I'm like, "Just give me the coffee right away." Um, I don't know.
So
I'll
do you
eat
not
right
drink
after
coffee
it.
at all anymore?
I mean, I've still been drinking it here and there, just not what I was. Like, I was drinking 2 cups or, like, 2 different lattes or 2 different cortados a day, like, just overdoing it. Um, and I think, like, it's even I've noticed probably my sleep's a little bit better too and everything from just not having that caffeine. Um, but then also just, like, being outside a lot more too has been helping me. Like I was saying, I've been going on runs. I don't know why I do this to myself all the time. I, like, forget how good runs are for me. Um, so I just started doing that the last few weeks, and bro, like, night and day difference of, how the rest of my day goes after I run. I Plus, like, I don't listen to music, so it's more so, like, I've been thinking about it as, like, a meditation too, and which is how I kinda always have done it, where I just am able to think, um, but I've been trying to even, like, just pick a point and, like, focus on that point, and then just focus on breathing and stuff while I'm running, 'cause there's so many there's so many different distractions as I'm running in Chicago that I could just be like, you know like today, halfway through my run, I realized I'm like, I haven't been, like, picking a point and, like, focusing, and I've been breathing well, but I this is just seeming really tough, and then I locked in and did that, and then, after 15 minutes or whatever, I feel really good and start having some of my best ideas then too as I'm going, so it's, I don't know, what do you do for yourself? Like, have you still been running? I know a while ago you were running a lot.
Just a quick question before we get to me. In the picking the point thing, are you saying you pick a point and then once you get there, you pick another point, or you're saying you pick a point and look at that the whole run?
Just, like, for different areas, so, like, I pick a point that's straight in front of me, so it could be like a light post, and I'm staring at that and focusing on breathing, and then, like, if I feel myself, going a different way, like, with focus, then I'm like, "Okay, go back to the point." Um, and then say if I get there or, like, my run has to turn or something, then I just pick a new one that's right in front of me, just so I'm, like, fully focused straight. Like, I've tried running where I'm, like, looking at a point to my right or something, but then I get super distracted. So it's the reason I started doing that is you ever heard of, like, point meditation, I think it's called,
Mm,
where you, like,
maybe.
sit, meditate, stare at a dot or something like that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same concept.
That's so interesting that you really think about focusing because I almost think I do the opposite when I run. Like I definitely try to pay attention to my breath and my form, but I feel like when I almost stop thinking is when I get into the flow state. But that's I think I do the point thing though too when I run because mine usually is like I'm gonna get to this point and then I'm gonna relax a bit and then I'm gonna grind once I get to this point. Like I usually more use it as a motivational tool of a spot to get to, either without stopping or without slowing down. And I'm kind of in a very similar position too because I have also been running. I actually just bought new running shoes 2 days ago. And I went to the running store that's over
Oh, no.
by us and I had my like gait tested and had them point me towards shoes that were good for my feet. And I'm running with shoes that are bigger than I'm used to. I've always had this weird thing with shoes, both just everyday wear shoes, but then shoes for sports too, where I feel like I'm weirdly in between sizes. And the size that
Yeah.
I have enough space for my feet feel huge or look huge more than feel. Like they feel great, but like running on them, I feel like I got bricks on my feet. just from like looking down and like feeling more in touch with the ground and stuff. So I bought the dude was telling me the whole time I was there, the shout out to this kid because he probably brought out 1,000 pair of shoes for me throughout the time I was there because I was being so indecisive. But I ended up going with a size that felt similar to what I usually have. And then, your
Mhm.
feet expand when you run. So they always say half or sometimes even a full size bigger for your running shoes. I didn't listen to
Mhm.
that. And I bought the shoes that kind of had the same snugness to what I'm used to. I got home, I put them on in attempt to go on a run, and immediately was like, dude, these are fucking too small. I just know they are. So I ran the store I bought them from was only like a mile and a half away. So I put them in a backpack and I
Yeah.
ran back to the store, got the half size up, um, and then donated my other running shoes. Ran back home a mile and a half again with that backpack with my new shoes, and then went on one of my probably most productive and easy and mindless runs I've ran on all year. So, I don't know, long-winded way to say
Nice.
I think the shoes play a big role, and I'm excited about continuing to run now that I feel like I can be comfortable while I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Had you been running a lot before you, like, made this decision to go get new shoes? Or, like, what has that process been? Like, why did you wanna get back into it if you were getting back into it?
Yeah, so. Caroline and I are signed up for a half in September, and
Running, yeah, what made you get back into running? Or, like, have you been running for a while? What made you go get the new shoes?
yeah, so Caroline and I signed up for that half that's in September, and
Mhm.
candidly, probably still not as prepared as I should be since it's already June. But I feel like I've had a good balance between lifting and riding my bike and running and the occasional swim. So I feel like I'm in decent shape, but I haven't been hitting the ground running, for lack of better words, as hard as I could be. So the shoes that I bought a couple years ago now, I feel like I bought with somewhat intentionality. I don't know if you remember, but I bought them. I was on a FaceTime or a call with you on my bike on the way back home from the running store after I bought them. But I think I just explained like I typically buy shoes that I think fit me at the time, but once my or once my feet expand in the sport, they become too tight. And the couple of runs I've went on this year with those existing shoes, my toes were just getting squished. And I was like, bro, I got to do something, especially if I'm going to start training harder to get shoes I'm comfortable in. So I went to Fleet Feet. Shout out to Fleet Feet, the dude that was there. I did a little scan to figure out my sizing and the shape and concave and the gait of my feet as I walk. And I don't know. Honestly, they're not as cool as I would have hoped because they didn't have a ton of color options, but I'm a impulse
Yeah,
buyer, so I don't want to wait for a different color to ship into the store. So here we are.
yeah. What what color and kind did you get?
They're not ugly, honestly. I'm gonna see if maybe I'll just pull up a little pic here so you can see for real. But they're New Balances. Um, I was in between those and some Brooks. Let's see if you can see.
Mm, nice.
So they're still dope. They
They
got
get
like
the
more
job done?
padding. Yeah, they got like more padding than I'm
Yeah,
used to, and bro, significantly more comfortable. Like my shins sometimes have been hurting from runs, which I'm sure that's just because my shoes were so tight. And I feel like my form feels a little more natural as I run too,
yeah,
which I think helps. So, I'm an
yeah.
equipment guy.
No, the shoes, I remember when I bought my first real pair of, like, running shoes, which was my Hoka's. Well, actually, I got Brooks first. Never mind. The Brooks, so I didn't do like a ton of research. I just like talked to a bunch of people that were runners, like, you got to get Brooks. And then they
You
recommended
got
me a
those when you
couple
were here,
pairs.
right? I feel like I remember
I
you
was living
getting
in Green
Brooks
Bay.
and then kind of putting me on. I remember being like, Trent's kind of swagging out with the Brooks. And I got a pair when I still lived in my Maple Grove house because of that.
Yeah, I think I got them, and then I moved to Minneapolis, so that probably makes sense.
Mm,
Um, but then I did the same last time I went in to the store, like how you're saying, had them show me a million different pairs, do a scan of my feet, tell me all these different things. Um, but that was a game changer. But yeah, mine are the Hokas too, and they have like that much support on the bottom too. I feel like I'm running on freaking pillows
yeah,
nowadays instead of like feeling jacked up after I leave. And then I always just try to do like not wall sits, but like where you put your feet up against the wall just to make sure I get blood flow after,
nice.
to help with recovery as well. And I do those two things and seems to be helping me a lot. So, but I've been doing, I think I've talked about this, how I have bad hips. So, that was like deterring me in some ways, but I had been going to Pilates, so I got these few different like workouts to do that hurt a lot when I was there, but like obviously that's cuz my muscle was not that good. Um so I've been doing that like before the runs too to activate myself and feels good.
Yeah. So are you just like primarily running or what's the blend of workouts if there is one right now? Or workout types, I should say.
Right. Yeah, right now I'm just going back to like running. So I'm doing running. I have a ab workout that I'm doing and then my hip stuff. And then I've been doing, you showed me this too, the like arm circles with the weights. So I do 25 of everything that I'm doing besides the running. But so like 25 forward, 25 backward of arm circles then. And then I haven't gotten to 25 yet pull-ups, but that's where I'm going next is for 25 pull-ups and then like 25 of military push-ups and 25 of just regular push-ups.
Do you ever rock the
So,
Vivos still?
mm, if I'm like doing a specific lift, but I haven't been lifting like that.
Yeah.
You?
Honestly, I haven't really either. I've been in the market for them a bit. There's like a few different pair of shoes for a few different occasions that I've been balancing or struggling to decide what to spend my money on. Um,
Mhm.
and I was wearing these Vans for a while to the gym that were flat, but I think I was doing kind of the same thing with my running shoes where they were cutting off uh my like toe mobility a little bit. Like I couldn't spread them out as good as I'd like. And I now have just been wearing my like Shadow Jordan 1 lows as my gym shoe for when I lift. And it's like one of my favorite shoes I've ever worn, I think, to the gym because it's flat and they're comfy as
Yeah.
hell. And I have a
Yeah.
pretty clear separation right now, which is nice because usually when I'm at the gym, especially when I'm kind of in a hybrid period, I'm like running or doing the Stairmaster, playing basketball or something in addition to my lift. But when it's nice
Yeah.
outside, I'm either doing something outside for cardio, running or biking, and then when I'm at the gym, I'm only lifting. So like I don't really have to worry about having that uh
Yeah.
mobile of footwear, I should say. Like I just have been
Yeah.
wearing those like Uniqlo sweatpants and um the Jordan ones and then a t-shirt unless I'm lifting legs. That's I guess another story, but I feel like I've found my ideal like comfort fit in now when I'm doing shit outside and then when I'm doing stuff at the gym too, which in my opinion is half the battle. Like you got to feel comfortable when you're
Yeah.
doing it in order for it to be productive.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, makes sense. It's
Speaking of being comfortable, I'm about to do every podcast from the couch like this, bro, because I'm chilling.
yeah. We're gonna have to do it on like a Thursday or Friday so I can check that out then, because Steph Steph's in the apartment. I gotta go to the office next door.
Bring her on, bro. Tell her she can be our guest next week.
Should we do that? Do a couples pod?
Caroline and I actually are overdue for our now 2-year anniversary podcast. We did one from our 1 year. So we've been trying to find a time to
Yeah.
do, or I mean, 2 months late, I guess now, but trying to get our
Yeah.
schedules to align for that. That actually would be funny though if we brought both of them on. I'm sure they have lots
It
of
would
good
be
insights.
sure. Yeah. People would learn a lot about us, I'm sure.
Yeah. We wouldn't say shit and we just let them take the mics and let them run the show.
Basically. For sure.
One thing we got to talk about, unless you're going to transition into something that you want to talk about, we got to talk about the Lego thing.
Bro. Yes.
I
I'm
have
so locked
been
into that.
I have been sending it to everybody. I've been preaching it to everybody. Nobody has watched it except for you and Jesse's who put me on originally. But I'm like, it occupies 85% of my brain space throughout any given day just because are you fully caught up? And I'll give kind of a synopsis of it after, but are you fully caught up with the videos he's put out or no?
So I didn't watch like the mini ones that he did, but I did the main two. I watched those. There's not a third one out now, is there?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it was like on his
Last
Patreon and he
I
can't
got
post it
arrested.
on the YouTube or something.
He on the YouTube. He's last I know, he said, "I'm in Mexico, so they can't arrest me."
Yeah. So just for a quick, I guess Spark Notes, this guy, RecklessBen is his YouTube channel. We're probably late to even covering this now because he'll even include clips of all these podcasts and shit talking about it. But this guy is essentially helping this man whose dad sold what's known as the world's most expensive Lego collection worth about $200,000 on a consignment deal to this toy store called Bricks and Minifigs. And consignment deal meaning everything that they sell, he gets a cut of. So there's kind of this uh
He still owns
ambiguous
it.
he still owns it. Yeah, there's kind of this ambiguous contract that it gets kind of floating the inventory essentially. Like he still owns it, but it's in their store. And the owners of that store at the time who signed the initial contract got rid of the store or got taken over by new management who now say they know nothing about this contract and it was bindable by the previous owners and the new owners aren't required to abide by it. So this YouTuber is working with the owner of those Legos trying to get those Legos back since they're not following that contract agreement that was initially set. And there's all these layers, there's all these attempts by this YouTuber and his friends and the original owners to try to get these Legos back by finding legal loopholes and like going through these crazy extents, essentially trying
Yeah.
to go against like the big corporate company as, a small individual who can't
Yeah.
afford to just take them to court essentially. So like you said, Trent, you're at the latest stage when he's ultimately arrested after all these shenanigans he's went through to try to get these Legos back. What did I miss about the details of the story and like what has been the standout moments from you in watching these videos he's posted?
Yeah. So first off, I've tried to put everyone onto it as well, and they're like, "You're a fuck." Basically, the response I've gotten. But
Same.
like, he's owner owns it. He makes a consignment deal. These new people come in, and there's like video evidence for everything too. This is the part that like is just fucking me up. Is like you have on the day that the new person came in and kicked the old owner out of the store,
Store.
literally saying, yeah, literally the previous owner being like, "Hey, half this inventory is not ours. Like, we don't own this. Like, I need to give this inventory back to him. Like, I you can't kick me out yet. Like, I need to give all this stuff to him." And him going, "Oh, we'll handle it. We'll get it figured out." And then video evidence of the now new owner of that franchise basically like lying, making promises, all these different things, like saying so many different things and then not following through with them, or just blatantly lying, like calling the cops on the guy for saying that he has heroin and all this different stuff. Like, just blatantly, this corporation, even the CEO knows about it and is in on it. And just them being like, fuck you. Like, they keep saying, sue me, because they know that like it's not going to be worth it for you to keep going to court. But I will say the YouTuber RecklessBen, like, so much ingenuity with his ideas, and like him finding so many legal loopholes. Like, okay, well, if we're gonna do a raffle or a lottery to get this, so they hold one in a park, and then they go there. And because like if you have ownership of it, then it becomes a criminal case instead of a civil case. And like, setting up these franchises to do the things that this Bricks and Minifig are doing to this little guy, of being like, oh, you got to talk to the franchise, you got to talk to the franchisee, like that's their problem. Just basically doing all this shit that they're doing. And then when he's talking to the CEO about it, he's like, okay, I understand what you're doing. Like, yeah, I guess there's not really shit I can do, huh? And it's just like funny how, obviously he places the clips where he wants them to, but you get a sense of like everything is documented. How is this even like a case? Like, why is it getting to this point? In like just how clearly people can get fucked, and like the police department is in on it, especially in Utah,
Yeah.
like arresting him repeatedly, doing a search warrant and like all this stuff. Like, even the part that was insane to me is you have this police department saying he has to serve the papers to him to bring him to court. They're waiting outside, waiting for him to come outside so they can serve the papers. The cop goes, oh, well, let me serve the papers to him. Says, oh, he doesn't want to take them. Then you have a different cop come right after and say, let me call the judge, or like the clerk or whatever, the DA, to see if this is a
See if
real
it's a
thing.
real case.
Figures out,
Yeah.
finds out it's a real case, and then is like, all right, now we're just going to arrest him.
Yeah,
And
dude.
brings him to jail. And then
And there's
I'm
like
like,
police,
what
there's like
though?
audio. One of the other things to add in is there's so much body cam footage that's like taken because it's public record, and you can hear the cops talking and saying, damn, I guess he's doing everything by the book, but like, should we just arrest him anyway? It's like
Yeah,
insane.
literally. And then how much audio they redacted too. And like, it's really funny when he calls the lady who does the redactions and is like, hey, like, why did I I put this clip with this clip and this audio, like, and matched it up. Here's exactly what he's saying. I feel like you've redacted some stuff that just like is implicating you guys into like, not following the law. Her being like, nope, I follow all the state laws, blah, blah, blah.
That's what's like the trippiest thing about it, and that's probably why I think about it so much, is like it's gotta feel so insane. And in his case, like, sure, the videos, there's a lot of theatrics around it, and he's doing all these zany, weird tactics that are kinda like legal loopholes, but he is doing everything by the book and documenting every step of the process. And like you said, there's so much video evidence and time-stamped photos and like video clips of the CEO saying stuff that help the Ben guy essentially build his case more. But even when he checks all the boxes he needs to and goes through these insane lengths, all these police that keep showing up. And did you get to the this maybe is a side video, but there's one where it's titled like all the video footage was released and you see all the clips of the store owner talking and like all that stuff?
I saw that video, I didn't watch it though.
You gotta watch that, dude, because it's gonna fire you up even more because you see all of the owner's clips of him saying, "They're coming to my house and threatening me, and that's not a real process server, and these papers are fake. Like, I've never seen anything like this before in my life." And he's just, I mean, exactly has the personality that you'd expect him to, but um like you said, like the latest so he got arrested once with a small bail, I think, in that case. And then he got back, and then I think it was his brother or something called him and said he literally just got back from jail. His brother's like, the police are at your door again. Another judge gave another warrant for your arrest without bail, which is when he went to Mexico and is like, imagine being on the run. Like, this is some movie shit because it's like, and this is why I keep promoting it to people too, because I'm like, at its foundation, sure, it's a Lego thing and it's like weird and whatever, and it's maybe harder to buy into, but the scale and the theatrical aspect and the fact that he's now in Mexico where there's no extradition so that he can't get chased down by the US police is like insane that he has to go to these lengths after doing everything by the book. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm feeling so heard listening to you walk through your feelings of this because I'm like, I've been trying so hard to tell people this is insane. You gotta watch it. I'm not just some like passionate Lego YouTube nerd. Like it's like Tiger King meets Nathan for You, which I don't know if you've seen Nathan for You,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
wild.
I you that right away. I was like, this
Yeah,
reminds me
yeah,
of
yeah.
Nathan for you.
100%.
But no, it's actually funny when I explained the whole situation to my dad, he was pissed. He was like, "That's fucking terrible." He's like, "Ah, you do everything right, and then this is happening like that. These corporate." It was funny to
That's what
see
it
my
is.
dad like
That's
that
like
though.
that's exactly what it is. The big corpse taking advantage of the small guys.
Yeah. So I think though too when I was explaining to people, I was also wearing a Harry Potter shirt from home. So like this guy's just a fucking weirdo. But so yeah. No, I think it's great. I'm I'm locked in though on what's happening. And I I do think that Briggs and Minifig, the fact that they had to put out a public statement saying we don't take advantage of older and elderly people
It's
in
so
a
funny.
it's just so funny. It's so funny. And like that right there is even a victory. So I think that company's gonna probably go down the shithole pretty soon because of this whole thing. And all they had to do was just give the shit back.
I'd recommend watching the shorter videos because it gives some more context. And there's one where he breaks down there's a corporate letter that went out to all of the employees of all the franchises that break
Uh,
down the situation and then also give tips on how to respond to specific questions that come up about the situation. And someone leaked it to him, like sent it to him directly, and they go through the document line for line and just break it down and talk about how it's lying and how they have evidence against certain statements that they're making. Um, and then there was one more video that he just put out yesterday, and I'm not going to give any spoilers about where it's at, but the video title was "This will be my final video about the company." So
mhm.
tap in. There's an update, and then yeah, text me about your response once you do.
I'll have to go watch that. Yeah, bro, it's crazy though. Crazy. Also, his videos, I didn't watch like the rest of them, but I looked at like all the titles. Kind of sound interesting too, and based on like watching this one. But he doesn't really release a lot of videos like that.
Yeah, I think that's his whole. I've never watched any of his other videos either, I'll just say, so my interpretation is the same, coming from the same view as yours, but I think it's a lot of, yeah, trying to take down the big guy and going through these crazy tactics to try to win in cases that they can't afford to just take the company to court or whatever, which I love. I love the concept of, if they especially if they end up, with a good ending, so
Yeah. Also, the fact that he on demand, like when he was making the lottery or gambling or the lottery or the raffle, he's like, "Oh yeah, as long as you're signed up as a church or nonprofit, you can." And he's like, "Good thing I had the Scientology, whatever, whatever." I was
Scientology
like,
sucks, church.
yeah.
Did you see the clip where they came up with the god that uh they worship, and it's a plunger, and then when they were reviewing the police footage, there was like a plunger on a plaque on one of the cops' desks, and he's like, "I can see that they're fans of my church." So crazy,
I
bro.
have not.
Maybe that was from a different one of the side clips, but yeah, shout out to him. I definitely am gonna have to make the episode title of this like "Fuck bricks and minifigs" so that we're on the right side of history here.
Exactly. Yeah. Damn. I'm gonna go tap into those videos and let you know though, because
Yeah.
I rock with my guy.
Shout out to RecklessBen.
Mhm.
Um, but that's pretty much all I got. I think we're rocking with episode 25 here. We're a quarter of the way to 100. Any final remarks to wrap this bad boy up?
That's about it. Fuck
Think we
Briggs
covered
and
it?
Minifig. That's the only thing I got.
Yeah, fuck them
Yeah.
boys. All right. Otherwise, I'll catch you next week.
All right. Sounds good, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, brother.